We've made it to conference championship weekend. And instead of doing our normal moneyline parlay for this week, we're switching it up. This is a 3-leg player prop parlay. We've got 2 bets coming from the AFC Championship game, 1 coming from the NFC Championship game. I like them as straight bets, parlayed. Some I like as alt lines. But ultimately, when we get to this part of the season, I think there's a lot more value sometimes on the player props than there is when you're just looking at side spread and total. Obviously, all these teams are really good. If you've made it this far, anyone can win. But there's still a lot of mismatches in value in terms of player props. So leg number 1, the biggest X factor for me for the Commanders versus Eagles game, if Washington wins this game, De'Ami Brown has to have a massive night. So I'm taking De'Ami Brown over 44.5 receiving yards. Brown really is peaking at the right time. When they say that, it is a thing, it's momentum. Brown just had 98 yards, 6 receptions against the Lions. He's that big play guy. And really why I'm leaning on him in this game is we know that the Eagles offense is so explosive. They can take off. Obviously, Saquon Barkley just had 205 rushing yards. So the Commanders need to match that. Jaden Daniels has looked incredible this postseason, has looked incredible, obviously, all rookie year. But De'Ami Brown is coming off a game in which really shows you Jaden Daniels trusts this young player. Hit a 42-yard reception against the Lions. So I think we're going to see some explosive plays. He's going to be Jaden Daniels' top guy. Not to mention, Terry McLaurin actually hasn't done great against the Eagles this season. He's just combined it for 70 yards through 2 games. So I think De'Ami Brown might actually get more targets than Terry. Second leg, we're going to the Eagles now. We mentioned Saquon Barkley. I've been riding Saquon Barkley what feels like the last 5 or 6 weeks. He hasn't been letting me down. So we're going to take over 125.5 rushing yards for Saquon. I know it seems really high, and I know it's hard to press an over when that's the baseline number for Barkley, but that's just how good, how explosive he is. He just had 205 yards last weekend. And obviously, these 2 teams have played twice this season, and in both games, Saquon went lights out. He had over 140 in the first game, 150 in the second game. Saquon's going to be running a lot. I think that they're going to rely on that run game. And the great thing about Saquon is it's just what he does after that first tackle, that second attempt, the explosiveness he has. I don't think that it's going to change. I think it's really hard for teams to figure out stopping a running back when they've already haven't had success against them, especially twice in a season. So we're going to take over for Saquon. So those are 2 for the NFC Championship. But for the third leg of this parlay, we go to the AFC Championship. And my favorite bet of this entire game is Khalil Shakir over 55.5 receiving yards. I love Shakir. I love Shakir against the Chiefs. So Shakir has a lot of success, obviously, as a slot receiver. He does well in zone coverage. And for Kansas City, they're going to be playing a lot of zone coverage. So Shakir can find those soft spots and really just take off and go from that. He had 8 receptions, 11 targets for 70 yards the first time playing Kansas City. And so I think that we're going to see Joe Brady, this Bills offense, go back to what worked the first time around. So Khalil Shakir over 55.5 receiving yards for the third leg of this parlay. And when you parlay the 3 together, you're at over plus 500. This is our player prop parlay for championship weekend. I'll say this. I do think that the Commanders could upset the Eagles. I took them to cover at plus 6.5. And I'm riding with the Bills to beat the Chiefs, still getting it at plus 108. And then in terms of a total, favorite total bet of the weekend is going to be over 47.5 for the Chiefs versus Bills game. Good luck with all of your bets. Next time we do this, we're going to be previewing Super Bowl 59. That is wild. So have fun this weekend. Enjoy it while we still have it.